Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I'm Kevin and this is Overland Recon. Today we're going to talk about why I chose a Jeep WK2. So let's get into it. So why did I choose a Jeep WK2? Well, there's a couple things. One, it all really started when I was looking for a second vehicle. I've got a daily driver. I bought new, works great, and there's no issues with it. But it's a car. It's front-wheel drive, and I live in the Midwest. So decided I wanted something that was more for winter, and as well as more for some off-roading. So I started looking, right, and part of that was, you know, the two-car setup, if you can do it, is kind of nice to have. I got a vehicle for the summer and it works great, does what I need, and then to have again another vehicle that that I can take off-roading, and just if there's ever an issue with one, I've got the other. It's a nice setup. Got some friends that have that, works really well for them, and I've never really quite had it in the way that I'll have it now. So that was a starting point. Another is, well, I mean, I'd been looking at a lot of options for quite a few years. And I went through quite a bit of different options, looking at different things. For example, I was looking at Tahoes for a while. I really liked those and I thought that may be good. But went over into Jeeps, looked at some Toyotas, Subaru. I mean, there's a number of options, and really just tried to figure out what I was really looking for, what was in my price range. Of course, a big consideration. And you know, just kind of kept looking. You know, knew I wanted to do this for past couple of years, and so finally made a choice and said I'm gonna go with this. So, you know, another reason was just to kind of get back out of the house. You know, the past couple of years been cooped up. Get back out of the house. You know, get more active. Hopefully lose some weight. And just, you know, go explore and see the outdoors again. So, and then as I mentioned, just some general overlanding, off-roading, you know, just to get out there and explore. WK2 probably not really going to do any rock crawling. Not while that looks fun and it may be of interest. Maybe that's you know, something down the road. You know, but not something I was requiring to do immediately. So, that's the general, you know, why I was looking for another vehicle. As far as again the things I looked into, so I really started with a Jeep Cherokee XJ, kind of the more recent model, which recent being like a 2000, 2001, basically the end of the production line of that. You know, some of the reasons I was looking at that is it had a really rock solid inline-six engine, easy to work on, plenty of them out there. Tons and tons of just resources and, you know, aftermarket, etc. So really seemed like a solid choice for me. And it was really when I really got more serious about looking is what I was looking to get. You know, I felt like they were relatively inexpensive in general. They were very, very capable, just right out of the gate, and with a few upgrades, just even more so. So just a really solid choice. I think with that, it is probably part of why I ended up not getting one, because once I finally decided to do it, if I would have done it a couple years ago, I probably would have had better luck. But once I finally decided to do this, they're harder to find. They're out there. Some of what I was finding was certainly more used, and I was trying to find something that was still in pretty decent shape. And this was, again, pretty. A lot of what I was finding was pretty well used, and just not a lot to choose from. The other thing was prices were really skyrocketing. You know, as with anything in the used car market, it was, you know, they really started to jump up. I found some, you know, some on eBay that were, you know, going for quite a bit of money, and so just they're just really difficult to find. Just looking here at the Park Ranger, if he's going to kick me out, he might. So anyway, if I would have would have been looking a few years ago, I probably would have been able to get into a an XJ, and would have had a lot of success. So, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was at one of the just local forest preserves, and I should have done this earlier in the day and didn't, and so they closed at sunset, and it was exactly hitting sunset. So park ranger came by and made sure that everyone's out, including myself. So had to go ahead and leave. Not a problem though. So we'll just finish this up from inside the Jeep. All right, so we just talked about looking for a Cherokee XJ and not really having much luck. When I wasn't able to find what I was looking for there, kept searching and went to the next model. So I went to, well, kind of the next model, a Grand Cherokee WJ, and again, specifically like a 2004, hopefully, model year. So, some of the nice things about the WJ were that it was certainly a little bit larger than the XJ, which is nice, right? There's a little more room. A buddy of mine was saying he thought it was gonna be kind of cramped in an XJ. I wasn't as concerned about it as he was, but he was. So, and obviously, can go look at them, test them, see what I really think. But again, wasn't having a lot of luck finding them anyway. So, again, on the WJ, benefits were again still relatively inexpensive, compared to a lot of new things out there, right? So, and again, it was still very capable. The 2004 was the last year, as I understand it, that it had solid axles. And so again, if I was trying to do a lift and, make sure I can do good off-roading, again, not really trying to do rock climbing, but just, making sure I have good clearance and articulation when I need it. It seemed like a solid choice. And again, especially with some upgrades, seemed like it was certainly very capable. But, kind of ran into some of the same problems as the XJ in that, there's a lot of them out there, but they're 20-year-old vehicles almost at this point, right? Or most of them are. So, well used, lots of miles. They're starting to get popular, so people are picking them up. So just it just really had an impact on what I could find, and again, wanting to find something that was still in relatively decent shape. Again, the prices were going up, so just was struggling with it. So so I ended up looking at a WK2. Now I know that's a big jump from like a 2004 or initially a 2001 XJ to a 2004 WJ to now a 2016 WK2. I did look at the WKs a little bit, but decided to go ahead and go further, and for a couple of reasons. So certainly this was more expensive than I originally wanted to start with, but as I looked into it more and specifically got, I was looking at like a 2014, 2015, and went ahead and was looking more at 2016s, just as they worked through some issues, and 2016 seemed like a good solid year where they had most of the issues worked through, and it was still on the lower end of the price bracket, of course, compared to maybe a 2018 to 2020 model or whatever, right? So those are certainly getting much newer, and so with that came a lot more cost. So even this one was more than I wanted to spend, but ultimately I said, you know what, it's a really nice balance. It's still very modern. It's got all the modern features. So it's a nice balance of that with, still some off-road capabilities that, that I was looking for. So I kind of felt like it was a good middle ground and kind of best of both worlds, if you will. With the WK2s, again, with all vehicles, all the prices have been going up. So that was something I considered, right? Is this even the right time? But, felt it was, if I could find the right deal. And with this, I really felt like I did. I felt like I found the right deal that, it's quite a bit less than others I found out there, probably due to the mileage. I really like the unique color, which some people may or may not like. And so, I think in the long run, that helped me as well, because, dealerships are motivated to move them if they're sitting for too long. So, I mentioned with 2016, most of the issues were worked out. And so, I felt like it was still going to be reliable. I wasn't going to, knock on wood, have too many issues with it, long term. And if so, that's the beauty of the two-car setup, is I'll be able to just work through those and deal with them. So, I know with a WK2, some of my, some of the market is a little bit limited as far as, aftermarket. and what I can do and what it's capable of. It's, you know, certainly more limited than something that has maybe solid axles or whatnot, but I'm okay with that. It probably keeps me from going too far at first, right? You know, really get out there, enjoy it, learn. Again, with the WK2, since there's not a lot out there, I feel like, you know, I got an opportunity. It's not, you know, just another Jeep channel. You know, again, with the WK2, that it may be something that others are looking for. So, again, basically it's got limits, and I'm okay with those. And I'll just work within those limits and still do everything I can with it. And there are people that are certainly doing, you know, off-roading with them and, you know, do enjoy them. It's not going to do, you know, highly technical trails or anything like that. You know, they're going to be certainly very difficult with something like this. But again, that's not what I'm shooting for at this time. So essentially, still very capable in a solid vehicle. And again, spending less than spend a little more on the vehicle up front, but then less money on, you know, everything I'm going to add to it or anything like that. So I can just use it, enjoy it, and that'll be great. So I'm also guessing that people are going to wonder why not a Wrangler, why not a Gladiator, Tacoma, 4Runner, etc. And as I mentioned, I did look. I looked at those, all very nice. All would have probably suited my needs just fine as well. But they were also all very expensive compared to, again, the deal I found here. And I was looking at kind of everything and going, all right, when I find the right deal, or, you know, the right combination that I feel like is correct for me, then that's what I'm going to go with. So that's what I did, and this is what I ended up with. So you know, not really unexpected. You know, that I was struggling to find, you know, something within my budget, and you know, some of these other vehicles were just, you know, so much more expensive, and you know, they're in high demand, right? People are after those, so I get that. I did also look at just biting the bullet and going brand new. That was certainly way more than I wanted to spend. You know, to the tune that you know, I was able to get into a WK2 for like a third of the price of something new. So, you know, I felt like that was the right choice, right? The right investment versus a brand new vehicle with a really big car payment. So again, I felt like this was just the right investment, and that's what I chose. So we'll see how it goes with the WK2. Again, I'm really excited about it. Again, I really like all the features that I talked about in the last video. Definitely have some plans. I'm excited to kind of go through and get all the maintenance and have it running really well. Not that it doesn't run well, but just to know, you know, that peace of mind that everything's been done, and that it's going to be a solid vehicle for, you know, a long time to come. So, so that's why I chose a WK2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know. You know, doing this kind of to document it, right? But doing this to help others and to, you know, just show what somebody can do that maybe hasn't done a lot of this before. So, again, looking forward to this journey and interacting with everyone. Thanks, and hopefully this wasn't too dark. Had up having to move, but we'll see, and we'll work that out. Till then, we'll see you next time.